Hey, this is Matt from InvestaQuant. We've recently added some new things to the platform, and I would like to take a moment to just show you what they are. So some of these new features include a new instrument, some user functionality that has been added to the My Strategies and My Alerts section, some additional biases within the bias library, as well as some helpful information about the biases that are in there. So let me go ahead and show you the very first thing that we have added is a new market within the Energies asset group. And that new market is RBOB Gasoline Futures. So you can now begin testing anything you would like within RBOB Gasoline Futures inside of Discover. And when you do test something within there, that you find that you want to save, we've got some new functionality available within our saving of strategies. So once you find something that you want to save, we've moved the save strategy button up top so that it's easier to get to. And when you click on it, you'll see that we have some new abilities within the save strategy button. So the first thing you can do is save the strategy name. I'm going to save this one, Up Gaps in June. Next, I can add a strategy description, and this will allow me to put any sort of information about the strategy here that I want to be able to see in a tooltip icon once I'm inside the strategies or the alerts section. So let me type in a description here real quick. And then under that, we've got a strategies notes section where you can put in any additional notes about the strategy that you want to save. So for this, I'm just going to dive into this deeper. And at the very bottom, you can enable the alert for the strategy straight from this pop-up window. So once I click that, the alert will be enabled for the next time that we have an up gap in June. Let me hit the save strategy here, and I will be completed with that step. When I go into the strategies section, you'll see some of the new things that we've added here as well. So I just saved this up gaps in June for our new instrument, RBOB. And what you'll notice first is we have this little icon right here that you can click on, and this is where you can find the description that you add for your strategies. This is customizable, so you can put anything in here that you want to describe the strategy that you've created. On the right-hand side, you'll see the pencil icon, and there's some new functionality hidden within this as well. So if I click on the pencil, I can rename the strategy. I can change that strategy description that I just showed you. I can change any notes that I want about the strategy to show up here as well. And then now we've also got a new button that shows up called Strategy Performance. And this will load the performance directly into the My Strategy section, so you don't even have to go into Discover to see the performance anymore. So here we get the snapshot of the equity curve, the full look back period stats, as well as a new table to the right here at the bottom that will show you the most recent 10 trades. So they are all here as well. And this is available for all of your strategies. You'll also see we've got buttons up here that show View Next Strategy. So you can actually click through your saved strategies and scroll through them while you are within the strategy section of the platform and never even have to go through to Discover to load them. This helpful functionality is also available within the bias library. So if I click on bias library, you'll see that we have added strategy descriptions to all of the biases that are within here. So this very first top option, you'll see we've got long bias volatility compression. I can click on the icon that says if opening above the prior session high and the 1-day ATR is less than the 5-day ATR, historical odds have favored closing higher than the open by 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. So that gives you a description of the rules that are included for this bias. And you can see the rules below. It's just looking to open above the prior day high when the 1-day ATR is less than the 5-day ATR. The setup over here says intraday open and long. So that tells you all the information. But this icon here will tell you a description of the bias. On the right, you can still see the quick view of the equity curve as well as a couple high-level stats. But we've also added this magnifying glass here on the far right, which will show you the strategy performance for the bias library biases. This works just like it did in the My Strategy section. So you can scroll through all of these by simply clicking this View Next Strategy arrow on the top right-hand side. You can see all of the strategy information below as far as the results go. You've got that new table that shows the last 10 trades as well down here in the bottom right. If you wanted to make any adjustments to this, you would need to go back into Discover. So you can still do that by clicking on the View Strategy Backtest button inside of Discover. This functionality is also available within the Alerts section as well. So inside of the Alerts, you now have the ability to add any strategy information that you want for the My Alerts section. And under the pencil for the My Alerts, you can click on that and you can find your strategy performance for the alerts that you create on your own. Or if you want to go into the bias alerts, we have the same information available where you can see the strategy description in the little pop-up of the icon, as well as the magnifying glass view, which will show you the full strategy results. Lastly, within that same bias library that I was just showing you, we've added some additional biases as the library continues to grow, and we are now up to 149 biases total within our bias library, which also feeds the bias alerts. And the last enhancement that we added that I wanted to point out is we have changed the naming convention of all of the biases to make it a little bit more obvious if it's a long or short bias. So we have added long or short to the front of the naming convention of all of the biases, so you can quickly see in the naming feature if this bias favors the long side or the short side. Thanks for watching this video update. If you got any questions or any feedback you'd like to share, hit the Tell Us button in the bottom right of the platform, or you can send me an email, matt@investaquant.com.